Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, we're gonna hop right on into it here. Super excited about having another great guest for you guys on this tour, and you guys might know this gentleman, and I'm super excited about sharing his shop tour setup with you. So, really quickly, we got my man Matt with Diesel Creek TV. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
It's good hanging out with you, man. Holy cow. It's freezing cold, by the way, too, bro. How you doing?
That was pretty good. It was warmer yesterday. Where were you at?
I'm over in, I was in Ohio yesterday. It was like 60s, but it was windy, really windy.
Yeah, it was really windy here, too. I'm surprised there was no trees down this morning, actually.
Yeah, but it's a cool morning here. Actually, want to give you a big thank you and just a quick plug for taking time out of the weekend to spend time doing this. It's kind of really the only time that worked out for both sides, and I said, hey, if you don't mind, I'm available on the weekend, and so thank you.
No problem, man. Awesome. Work 7 days a week. Why take a day off?
Amen to that, right? So real quick, a lot of guys that follow my content, the lawn and landscape guys, you're a little out of that niche and genre, but you got a beautiful barn here that we're going to tour. So do you want to give them a quick, maybe like 30-second plug about who you are, and then you can take it away?
Yeah, so basically I'm a full-time YouTuber at this point. I started after high school. I got into the landscaping and grass mowing kind of thing. I worked for a local company. They were transitioning into excavation more or less at that point, so I started getting into the heavy equipment side of things. I've always been fascinated with that stuff, so I actually started buying equipment from them once I had moved away from their company and started doing my own stuff on the side, working full-time jobs still, and then yeah, I've just always kept progressing and getting more and more equipment amassed, and I started enjoying working on it more than running it half the time anyway. So when COVID came along, the YouTube channel took off, and now this is what I do full time. So
that's awesome.
It's Happy Forrest Gumped right into this thing.
Amen to that. Do you mind if I pan?
Yeah.
This is the whole property. A lot of people have seen all this, so what's going on back here?
A little bit of everything. So I'm trying to build a house down there eventually, but this is all the compound here. All the junk is spread out right now because I've been in the process of building this shop for the past year now. So now that the shop is just about finished up, hopefully going to be condensing and cleaning everything up and starting to make the place look a little bit less like a junkyard. But it's my happy place. So
amen to that, brother. Well, here, if you want to take us on the tour, man, where do you want to go first? You want to do exterior, interior? I'm following you.
Well, I guess we might as well head right inside since we're here. It's a little echoey in here.
So what's the, if you don't mind me asking, what's the stats? Like how length, width, and
so
height?
We are 40 feet wide, 64 feet long on the interior here, 18 feet to the bottom of the rafter, but we have scissor trusses. So in the center of the roof, I think we're at like 23, 24 feet. 3 14 by 14 insulated doors, 2 man doors, 9 windows, I think, and quite an echo, as you can probably hear right now, because the shop is empty because it just got finished literally 2-3 days ago.
There you go.
We're trying to get everything moved in here post haste and get back to working on stuff.
Amen to that. So take me through what's some things that you like, what's some things you were considering when you're putting this thing together?
I've been talking to old guys that have their shops built when they're 60, and I listened to all their complaints and things that they have wished they did. So I'm hoping in my mind that I've taken all the best things that they told me about and tried to perfect them or reduce any inconsistencies that I'm going to have in the future, things that I wish I could have done better, but I'm sure there'll be some things come up. I laid it out so that I could have a through bay because I work on a lot of big trucks, trailers, that kind of thing. So these 2 doors are lined up so you can drive straight through the building with a semi truck if you want to, no problem at all. I did a radiant floor heat because if you've ever worked on concrete, it's awful cold in the wintertime. So all these pipes coming up out of the wall over here is a radiant floor heat system, and that'll heat this entire building and it'll keep it whatever temperature I want it. And that's going to be fed from an outdoor wood boiler. So I have tons of trees around here, as you can see. I'll always have free heat in the wintertime, theoretically.
There you go.
A little bit of labor involved, but that's it.
That's awesome.
So for the ceiling, we did 3 inches of spray foam. I have R19 in the walls. My theory with that is the spray foam's pretty expensive, so I really splurged for the roof because that's where your heat loss is at anyways. The walls, I did the R19 just because it's cheaper and you don't lose that much through there. So I could do the R19 myself, save a couple bucks, and then I had some guys come in and do the ceiling, and they did an awesome job on that and made a huge difference. This building isn't heated yet, but just having this done for like a week now, it's been incredible, the heat that does retain in here just overnight. So big fan of that. If you can swing it, that's the way to go for insulation, in my opinion. Your climate may vary.
Yep, I love it, man.
Other than that, Yeah, just laying out electrical and trying to forecast where things are going to be in the future is a big challenge. You're never really quite sure until you work in a space for a while. You end up rearranging it 5 times anyways, but I tried to plan out in my mind and think about my workflow, but I'm sure that that's going to be something that gets switched up several times.
Are you happy with the size, or would you have went smaller, larger, higher, all that mess?
That's a tough question, because I like the size that this building is. It's a good workshop size. I'm trying to keep this building just a workshop and not a storage building. So if I try to cram all my junk in here, yeah, I wish I would have gone bigger. But if I just work in here, I think this is a nice size to heat. It's not so big where you're walking 2 miles to go get to your tools or whatever it is. So I think as a workshop, this is a perfect size building. And it also kind of fits into the budget, because when you go wider than 40 feet, things start to get exponentially more expensive. So this was kind of like the biggest you could go. This was the biggest bang for the buck, essentially. So that's why I went with this size. I have more storage buildings, and we can go take a look at those.
Sure.
But I'm trying to keep this just workshop.
Amen to that. Hey, quick question. I see the vent, or the drain in the floor is you can do a wash bay and all that?
It's not really designed to be a wash bay so much as like if you pull a snow-covered truck in here in the wintertime and you want to start working on it, I don't want to have lakes start showing up on the floor and having to squeegee stuff out the door. So this will just be a place where you can squeegee your water to, and the floor should dry out really fast in the wintertime too, because it's going to be heated, so that water pretty much just disappears really quick.
Yeah.
So.
Let me ask you really quick, because we were talking before we hit record about the heated floor, the radiant floor, and I've been slowly justifying it myself as we go into our barn build in August. I'm like, do I just want to drop the extra money? So do you have any quick tips or hints, or you want to show us the system really quick?
You can check it out.
Because I saw that video. I really encourage you guys to check out Matt's channel. He documented the whole build process. But man, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that have questions on this kind of stuff.
So this isn't complete yet. There's a lot more stuff that goes on here. There's circulation pumps, expansion chambers. This is just the part that's in the floor essentially right now. And this manifold up here catches all the different loops that are put through the floor. So I ended up with what is it? 9 different circuits run through this whole floor.
Okay.
And each loop is like basically redundant. So if something were to happen to one of those loops, you could still cut that off and the rest of your floor would still be heated. You probably wouldn't even know much of a difference with it, because I have so many loops through the floor. That's one of the issues with a heated floor. Say if your slab cracks, or if you drill through the floor or something like that and you accidentally hit one of those lines, that is a downfall of the system. But I think it's worth it, because the heat that comes from this versus a forced air system or turbo heaters or whatever else you got, it's just not the same. Like it's a really nice consistent heat to work from. It heats you from the bottom up rather than blowing dry air around on you all the time. And it's just a really nice, pleasant way to work.
Amen to that. I love it, man. I love it. All right, man. Well, I'm following you. I love the setup. This is a dream for a lot of guys out there, and I know you said it took, what, 12 months? You're into the process?
Yeah, there was some builder drama involved there. I'm not going to even get into that whole story, but I signed for it last February, the beginning of last February, and now we're in April.
Yeah.
It's just now finished up, so it's been a process, but I'm excited it's finally coming to a close. One of the things I forgot to mention too is this building is not done yet until my rail crane is in here. So I'm putting a gantry crane that'll run the entire length of the building side to side. I'll have a giant claw machine in here effectively that'll be able to just pick something from clear over there, bring it all the way down here and set it down, and not have to strain my back. So
that's awesome. That'd be a dream come true.
Yeah, that'll be a big game changer. And if you're working on heavy equipment like I do, it's pretty much a must-have. You're going to kill yourself if you're trying to lift some of these parts off. I mean, a starter on a machine can weigh 150 pounds. So,
jeez.
Yeah, you definitely want the crane if you can get one. So you'll see it when we go outside. But I'm planning on adding on an office and a bathroom and a kitchenette right through this window opening. We'll blow that out, turn that into a doorway, and that's going to be the office per se. And then if I keep some supplies in there, whatever else I can fit in there. I didn't want to restrict the big open area with a bathroom or a mezzanine or anything like that. So I'm going to blow that out that wall, and we'll have it underneath the lean-to over there and close that all in, and it'll be another heated space.
All right, guys, well, hope you are enjoying this quick tour with my man Matt over here with Diesel Creek TV. It's definitely a treat to have somebody like Matt on our channel, and I super appreciate the guy opening up his whole compound, his whole place, and giving us the whole tour. By the way, if you guys are enjoying everything that you're seeing from Matt, make sure you go over to his YouTube channel and check out the rest of the videos that he has on the shop build, including the playlist that he mentions in this video about the whole build from start to finish. It's going to be a really, really exciting journey to see this thing come together. It's taken him over just about a year to do this thing, and I don't know if that gives me encouragement or a little bit of discouragement as I get down the road to build mine here in just about another 6 or so weeks. Any which way, just having some fun. Matt is doing a great job. The barn looks absolutely beautiful, and you know what? It's just another great opportunity for him to have some space to continue on wrenching on the equipment that he gets and to just continue to grow his YouTube channel and, you know, pursue his passion. So that's what it's all about. That being said, guys, I want to give one more quick shout out to Equipment Offender, Yard Book, Steel, and my friends over here at Cujo Yardware for making this tour happen. That being said, guys, you guys have been crushing the Brian's 10 code this last couple of weeks through the spring rush, getting your Jags, your Cujos, your pants, and everything in between. And I just want to say a big shout out and thank you guys for all the support. So that being said, let's hop back into it here with our host Matt with Diesel Creek TV. Let's check out the rest of his shop tour, including the outside portion of his yard.
So off the back of the building, I have a 16-foot overhang back here. So the main roof is actually 40 by 80 on this building. I left this part out here open to the elements, but still under roof. So if you want to come out here and do some of your cutting, your grinding, your heavy torching, things like that, you're not stinking up your building, you're not filling it up with dust and fumes and all that stuff. I also built it with the option to enclose this in the future. The slab is one slab underneath of that wall. That particular wall is built like a stick frame build rather than a pole barn like the rest of the building. It's full of junk right now because I had to move everything out to get the spray foam done. So this week, all this is going to be back inside and organized, hopefully. Some of it's going, some of it's staying, you know the drill. All this area back here is going to be filled up yet. We got to bring in a lot of dirt here, and I'm going to make this all a level lot back here where I'm going to have all my machinery stored at. So it's all hidden behind the shop. Happy wife, happy life, you know?
Amen to that. That's awesome. So this is the whole, this is the stuff that we get to see on YouTube half the time, right?
Yeah, this is the behind the scenes tour, I guess.
There you go.
So I've been clearing back here. This pile of junk here is all got to get moved. Some of that's going to the scrapyard, some of it's getting reorganized. But all of this here, this last block of trees is going to be cleared out, and this whole area back here is going to be a lay down yard so that all of my equipment can be stored back here and I don't have to have things scattered like it is right now coming down my driveway. It looks like I got a Ritchie Brothers auction in my driveway, so we're trying to avoid that. You want to check out the lean-to?
Sure, I'm following you.
On this side of the building we have a lean-to. I believe it's 17 foot deep, about 11 foot high, I think, to the bottom of the rafter there, so I can fit most of my bigger trucks underneath the roof there, and just try to get some more outside storage space. That way we're not cluttering up the interior of the building. It runs the length of the building. This end of the lean-to is where I was saying we're going to enclose that and make that part of the structure. That's going to be the office area over here, and that will be a quick walk across the driveway here to my other storage building, the shipping container shop that I built a few years back now. So this is two 40-foot shipping containers. These are high cubes, so they're 9.5 foot tall, 8.5 foot wide, 40 foot long. Inside of those I have a ton of parts, supplies, all that kind of thing, and I'm working on getting that more squared away and organized as I finish this shop. So kind of working back and forth to figure out what's going to stay where and get a good efficient workflow. But in between the two containers I have a 30 by 40 under roof here, and that's where my dry storage is for a lot of my equipment now that I'm trying to keep out of the elements. You can hear the generator humming in the background, as Brian will attest to you. We're a little bit off the beaten path here, so getting the electric down here is a bit of a job, and it's going to be pretty pricey. So I'm hoping to knock that out this summer, and we'll have grid electric down here, but right now we're just running off a light plant. But it keeps me going, and those little things actually don't suck up too much fuel, so we can keep the lights on around here, at least for now. So here we are inside one of these containers here. This was the workshop before I had a workshop. This is my dry place with lighting and everything. It's junked up right now. It's not organized because it's just been chaos for the past year trying to get this building squared away over here. But this is a great beginner building here. I think with the two containers, I was able to pick up the roof structure used but I think you can buy one of those new for 5-6 grand. So I think with this whole total building, my cost into this build was somewhere around 5 grand. I mean, and look, you got 30 by 40 under roof with these 2 dry boxes here. And the great thing about containers, I'm out here in the woods, so mice are a problem. There's always mice getting into everything. So these containers are completely sealed up. You can't get mice into these things unless you put a hole in one. So I put the stuff in here that was needing protection from the rodents, you know?
Yeah.
But this stuff, these containers are great. I can't say enough good about them. As long as you ventilate them well, they are fantastic. So just oil supplies down there. I got all kind of goodies stashed in here. And this building now, because of the new building, this is going to transition into more of a supply storage area. That way I'm not cluttering this stuff all into that shop. So stuff that I'm not using every day will all be stored over here. So just some of my machinery we have stored under here. I've got this Komatsu D41 dozer. I've got this galleon grader back here that's kind of semi-famous on my channel. This one, it was one of those projects that I picked up that had trees growing through it when I got it, and I've gone through and did like a socially distant restoration on it is what I call it. It looks good from 6 feet away. But it tried to kill me the whole way through that project. It was cursed, but it's still fighting me, but it's a good machine. I'm happy with it now. But projects like that are going to be made much easier by having a real nice enclosed shop. Working out here, you're dealing with the elements still. If it starts raining sideways, you're still getting rained on because I never really closed this in right. Lots of projects though that have been struggling to work on out here are going to be hopefully worked on in there a lot more efficiently. This box over here has kind of been like my little machine shop. I've got an old lathe jammed in here. I'm going to hopefully be reorganizing this and putting a different lathe I just picked up in here. This is going to still kind of remain a machine shop because it's not tools that I use a lot, but man, with not having them is just not an option in my business. So when you need to turn a bushing or a pin or something, it's super easy to come over here, throw it in the lathe, knock it out, rather than run God knows how far to go buy a part that costs you hundreds of dollars. When I have the metal here, I can make it myself. So again, disorganized chaos and junk crammed in here because I've been working out of every shop and moving things back and forth 20 times. So I just got stuff crammed in here for now. But again, trying to get this to be nice, organized storage space in the future. I have these 2 containers, and I also have 3 more that I bought that are actually nicer than these containers. I wish I could trade places with these containers, but it would be a pretty major job to lift the roof off and switch these boxes out at this point. But I have some really nice ones that are decked out that I just picked up. They're insulated, wired, air conditioned, the whole 9. And I'm going to be putting those over here behind you guys where the brush pile's at right now. I think we're going to build another storage building over there. So things are still up in the air as to what exactly this is going to turn into, but I've got a lot of storage options and I'm just trying to use the space as best as I can, keep things out of the weather. Yeah, so that's pretty much the nickel tour. Thank you guys for coming down to check out the place here. Sorry it's not a little more complete at this moment, but if you want to check out the rest of that, I'm going to be finishing it out on my channel, moving in and getting things set up and starting to wrench in there again. This time next year it'll probably look 180% different. So yeah, thanks for coming down and checking it out.